some of the local conservative forces, especially the inner archaeological circle and geologists in Bosnia, show that it won't be so easy to do the research here in Bosnia. They were against the project, and they were doing everything to stop us. And they even linked to the European Archaeological Association, asking them for help, and asking them to boycott this research. So unfortunately, the European Archaeological Association sent the letters to national archaeological associations. So what we had to do was to go to Egypt and some other countries and ask them to send their archaeologists. And for example, last year we had 3 Egyptian experts, which is rather logical to ask for the help in the land of the pyramids.
Sure.
They came to Bosnia and they confirmed that we really have a very important archaeological locations here, and that the research should be continued. Now, this year we got the full government backing from the federal level, from the provincial level, and from the municipality. So this is such a unique project because it was started by one man, then by the non-profit foundation. So finally it is becoming a public project with so many people visiting the site. We got so many people who are actively involved in this project because we are telling them, don't be the observer of the history, be one of the creators.
Fascinating. How big is the team that you have down there? A lot of people, or are people coming and going, as it were, when you say?
Well, I would say they are coming and going. In the case of the experts from the abroad, they come, they spend 3 days, they spend 7 days, they spend a couple of weeks, they come and go. They do their report. And what we are proving in this case, this is such a huge project, we are saying, even though this is the archaeological project, but the archaeology does not belong to the archaeologists exclusively, no more. Because we have managed to get the analysis from the experts like nuclear physicians, like geologists, georadar experts, satellite experts, topographic experts, geodetic experts, paleontologists, biologists, and so on and so forth. So many people are finding the way to give their contribution to this project.
Interesting. One thing also is, I don't know how this works within the archaeological community, but have this, the Bosnian Pyramid been, how should I put it, recognized officially within the archaeological community, or is there some procedure here that must happen in order for this to happen?
Question also.
Yeah.
Now you see, it seems to me that the official or conservative archaeologists and historians will be the last one to recognize that the first European pyramids do exist in Bosnia. Because you know that the scientists, especially, once they got the positions, once they got their professorships and PhDs, they are not so easy to change. So they are not, getting the changes. They are not so welcomed in their lives because they think once they got their position, they possess all the knowledge. And that's so wrong. Now look the archaeology in last 10 years. We've been getting so many sensational discoveries from China, from Japan, from Cuba, from Bimini, from other places in the world that completely changed the world's history. And that's what we are doing here. And so, they have this resistance. But if one wants to be treated as a scientist, he has to stay open and he has to be ready to learn, to accept the new knowledge, and actually he has to be a student all his life.
That's right.
Unfortunately, in the real life, you know that you got people who think differently, who wants to stop the new thing because they think that they are losing the ground under their feet. And that's what's happening in this little country of Bosnia where, maybe 5 or 10 local archaeologists wanting to stop this project for, reason only known to them. unfortunately, since we have so many scientific arguments, they were not able to do that. And I believe, sooner or later, more and more European archaeologists will be joining this project, because nobody can deny that those huge stone structures in the shape of the pyramids exist here in Bosnia.
How much have you excavated so far, and if you would kind of estimate on how long do you think it actually would take if you guys ever down there actually excavate the entire structure?
Now I must ask you something. What are you by trade? Are you, journalist, or you are something more? Because every question you ask me obviously shows me that you've been prepared so well. Okay, let me answer your question.
Okay.
When we were planning how to attack the pyramids, we said, okay, these pyramids are so huge, they look like a mountain. We said, okay, what we're going to do, in order to prove that these are colossal buildings, we need to make a probing wells or excavating sections on each side of the pyramids. You've got four sides, east, west, north, south, so four sides of the pyramids on three different levels, close to the bottom, in the middle, and close to the top. So we should have at least 12 to 15 sections where we should, starting our excavation. So in the case of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, we have 16 sections like that. In the case of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon, we have 28 sections, and all of them are really amazing. The sections are sometimes not so big, maybe 5 by 5 meters, 10 by 5. Sometimes they are like even 85 meters long by 3, 4, 5 meters in order to show those terraces, and some of them they look like a spiral ramps. Now, so we got a lot of sections that we uncovered, and even though we are little non-government organization, during the last year, thanks to a lot of volunteers from all parts of Bosnia, but also from some other countries, we were able to uncover so much. And of course the underground tunnels that we are cleaning, that we are putting the wooden support, it's also, we've shown a lot of progress. Now, when you ask me how much it would cost and how long it would last, of course the money and the time goes together.
Sure.
Last year our budget was about $500,000 US, and we estimate that in order to reconstruct the whole Valley of the Pyramids like it was in the beginning, it would cost close to $100 million in order to buy all the land, and more than half of it are the private landlords. So if you have $500,000 that we spent last year versus $100 million that we need, so it's about 200 years to reconstruct the whole valley.
Oh my!
Of course, 200 years is a little bit over than what I plan to live.
Yeah, exactly.
So in order to accommodate that, I think it'll be a good idea to get some more money in, and that's the reason why we are trying to get some help from some other countries. We're getting the experts from different countries like Egypt, like Italy, like Greece, like Croatia, but also we are trying to get some interest drawn from some other countries, Malaysia or Saudi Arabia or some others.
Sure.
But I think it will be also rather important that if UNESCO send their teams, or if we have some archaeological society or some leading countries in Europe like Germany or France or Sweden,
yeah.
If they come and if they send the independent teams of experts, it would help us a lot
Definitely.
to get an international recognition.
Definitely, and I guess a lot of it at the beginning now has to do with the the response from the media, and that they are able to highlight this so people actually are aware of it, because I guess that is kind of the main problem now. But having said that, have the response been very good so far, or are you expecting much more to happen as you dig more and more here?
Now, the year of 2006, when we brought this sensational news to the media, was rather successful to us, because at one time, for example, in July of 2006, we had the CNN team over there, and the news about the Bosnian Pyramids was breaking news on
Mm.
CNN for 2 days in the middle of July.
Yeah.
Then we had a team from ABC News, which is of course the biggest U.S. National TV,
Mm.
and they made a 30-minute special on the Bosnian Pyramids, and they showed in very affirmative